When things are not going great, where do you put your trust? Where do you put your faith? What do you do when you find yourself in places where you don't understand God, where you can't see Him? When you are being tried and you are in the middle of the storm, how do you find God? These, my friend, are some of the questions we will be answering today. When He is silent and it seems like He is not interested in what you have to say, when it looks like you keep crying out to Him but with no response. Have you, my friend, ever felt like you don't know how to find God? Like you don't know where He is? He seems so far away from your situation. He seems so far away from your struggle. It seems like He is not listening to you. You don't know where He is, and you look to the left, you can't find Him. It seems like you're drowning, and the storms are going to end up swallowing every word that He has given to you. His words and His promises seem so far away. What, my friend, do you do then, dear child of God? What do you do when you try to find out His will or what He is saying and nothing seems to be coming forth? What do you do? There can be the temptation to give up. It is not like you are giving up on God, of course. You are just giving up on seeing Him in that situation. You may give up on waiting to see Him move or hearing what He has to say. You may think that now is the time to do the smart thing and begin to look to other sources for help. Now is the time to begin to make plans. After all, heaven helps those who help themselves. Some say, forget that that's not a verse in the Bible. It feels like a waste of time to not be doing something, even though it seems like God is saying wait with His silence. Sometimes it can be a struggle to wait for God. It seems like He takes His time so much that you begin to wonder if He even plans on coming. It can be so confusing and stressful sometimes, and you wonder what to do. You wonder if you are wasting your time doing this thing, even if you can't see the results yet. Yes, He asked you to do it, but it seems like you have been doing it for so long now with no results. So what should you do? Dear child of God, if this is where you find yourself today, I have a word from God for you right now. Only you understand where you are right now or what you are going through. People may try to understand, but the truth is that only you and God understand the difficulty or the wilderness you are going through. So I haven't come to tell you that I understand what you are going through. I have just come to bring a word of remembrance to you of the Lord you serve. I have not come to tell you exactly what you should do, but I have come to share something that can help you no matter where you find yourself, with or without a solution, tired of what you've been doing so far, wondering whether you should quit or not, wondering how what you hope for or desire will come to pass, hoping against hope that this situation in your life will change even if you don't know how, trying to have faith when it seems like you have used up all of yours. I'd like to share with you a Bible verse. In the book of James, the first chapter, from the 2nd to the 4th verse, it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you encounter trials of many things, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance, allowing perseverance to finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." What, my friend, makes people consider it pure joy to go through trials? What could possibly make people look forward to trials? Can you imagine trying to give this advice to a friend or family member, asking them to be joyous, pure joy? It is almost like asking them to anticipate trials. Like most people, even trying to keep a good attitude during a trial or wilderness already seems like such a struggle. How much more trying to be full of joy at every point in the midst of that wilderness or struggle? It doesn't seem realistic, does it? Can you imagine what that person's response to you would be if you told them they should approach their trials with joy? Could you do this yourself? So why does James give us this instruction, and why does God instruct him to do it? The reason, my friend, why the apostle James can confidently tell us to look towards our trials and struggles and be joyous in the midst of them is because he is confident in the faithfulness of God to take us through them. A regular person without confidence in God couldn't say this. At most, they would advise you to do all you can just to get through it. But James knows something. He knows the faithfulness of your God. He knows that one of the most important characteristics of God is the fact that he is a faithful God. His faithfulness is part of what makes him God. Listen to how he describes himself. Yahweh, Yahweh, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. That's in the book of Exodus, the 34th chapter, the 6th verse. Even the psalmist says, your steadfast love, O Lord, extends to the heavens, your faithfulness to the clouds. Psalms, the 36th chapter, the 5th verse says, if we were to compare his faithfulness in distance, the psalmist says, it will be to the clouds. Listen to what he says. Again, for great is his steadfast love toward us, and the faithfulness of the Lord endures forever. That's in the book of Psalms, the 117th chapter and the 2nd verse. God's faithfulness, my friend, never ends. It is impossible for God not to be faithful to his word and his promise. As long as you trust what he has said and what he has promised you, trust in his character and keep doing what he has asked you to do. It doesn't matter what you go through, my friend, he will come through for you. Even when everyone else is unfaithful, God is faithful to what he has said he will do. As Paul says in 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter from the 13th verse, God remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. It is who God is. He cannot deny his faithfulness. He cannot stop being faithful. There is no safer place to put your trust and your hope than in him. He, my friend, is exceedingly faithful, more faithful than any other person, more faithful than we can ever hope to be. He, my friend, is the one who will never let you down. Put your faith and your trust in him and never let anything make you take out your trust from him. Dig in your heels and refuse to give up on the faithfulness in God. It doesn't matter what you are seeing or facing right now. You may be going through storms and trials, but they are nothing compared to God's faithfulness and his promises to you. He has promised that he will bless you. He has promised that he will never leave you. He has promised that he will deliver you. This, my friend, is why James could say that we should go through our trials with pure joy, because he knew that it didn't matter what he faced or what you face, as long as your God remains faithful, as long as you trust in his faithfulness and keep doing what he says to do, you will come out of that storm. So, my friend, choose today to bless God in the midst of that storm, wherever you find yourself, because he's bigger, he's wiser, he's more good and more faithful than anything you could ever go through. And in those seasons where it seems difficult, remember his past goodness to you. When you despair and it seems like nothing will ever be different, remember his past faithfulness to you, how he has been trustworthy, how he has never lied to you, how he has always kept his word. If the earth and the heavens were to pass away, he would stick to his word. He doesn't change his mind or decide that it is too much of an inconvenience to keep his promises to you. As he said it, he will surely do it. It doesn't matter how many people have failed you. Don't group God in that same category. Your God, my friend, is worthy of your trust. There is nothing big enough to question his faithfulness. He's proven himself again and again. He's kept his word for ages past. He will not stop now. Hold on to this, dear child of God, and let it be your light in the dark places. Your God is more faithful than anything you can ever go through or anything that could ever seem to question his faithfulness. God, my friend, bless you